Happy Bay, you the center of attention. Good morning. I have my college graduation mug gift for my coffee this morning. Today, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I have a doctor's appointment. Just so much joy. So I've vlogged my appointments before, but I usually focus on the lead up to the appointment and then I kind of recap it and we end it there. But I thought this time I might kind of flip. I am still going to show a little bit of the before because I do think it's helpful to see, but I want to show the after mostly in this video. As I spill coffee all down my face. Very classy. Only classy on this channel. Having the shift that I've had this month of really focusing on, being brand new to all of this, it made me think about when I was first seeing doctors and things for my illnesses. Now, my history with doctors is piss poor at best. I've made a video on this before, but my pediatrician was a piece of shit, and I don't know a nicer way to put it. I came to her year after year after year, month after month, basically at one point, saying, I'm in pain, I need help, this is not okay. And every time she said, you're lying, you're fat, deal with it. She might have said it in nicer words, but that's what she told me every time. One thing I remember her saying word for word though is, as I forget it, she told me, you're fat, of course you're in pain. Everybody who's fat is in pain. You need to lose weight to not be in pain. Newsflash, I've lost over 50 pounds and I'm still in pain. So, there's that. Reflecting on that made me realize how much I could have used a video, especially when I turned 18 and I was going to the doctors on my own, of what to expect. So this is just a normal general doctor visit. I always forget the name. This is just a physical, my yearly physical. Thankfully it's with a doctor I know and I like a lot, but with my physicals, they tend to be a bit long, and that's mainly because there's just a lot to recap, especially over the course of a year. The different specialists I've seen, results that came in from those, sitting and talking about them, and also making a plan forward for the next year. Yeah, so my appointments can run a little long. If you start going to see just like your normal primary care doctor, that's what they're called, I remembered, and you're finding that you're not really getting everything you want to say said just because you're running out of time, then you can actually request a longer appointment, which is something I didn't know about because this is now my third. Well, she's my second as an adult, but if I'm counting my pediatrician that I had, technically we're going with second. So she is the second primary care doctor I've had as an adult. My first one was at my more local hospital, and although she tried and she was a much more positive experience than my pediatrician, there was just time restraint, resources she just didn't have that made it really hard for her to be a good doctor for me. She would have been a very good doctor for an able-bodied person where you're just going in to double check everything's okay. Maybe you have like a concern every once in a while you'll bring up that she can help you look further into. But for somebody like me who's chronically ill, who needs a lot of help from specialists, a lot of specialty tests and things like that, it wasn't enough. So my new primary care doctor, she works for, dogs are barking. Go away. Iris is here. Okay, they're not outside, but they're further away. So yeah, my current primary care doctor, her office network is in the big hospital system in Maine, or one of the big hospital systems in Maine. There's, I think, 3 now. Unlike my previous one, who was just like a small one-off hospital that's just here in town. That makes specialists a lot easier because at the other hospital, I would have to go see a specialist in the hospital and then get transferred out to one however many towns over, when I just really needed to go to the ones right away. I did not need to have that middleman. But also, like I said, there's multiple different major hospitals. The ones that are nearest to me are Maine General and Northern Light. There's another one, Eastern Maine Medical Center, but that's more for Southern Maine. I know it's called Eastern Maine, but I don't live in Eastern Maine, so I don't see that one as often because they're much, much further away from me. But yeah, Northern Light and Maine General. Northern Light for me has been hit or miss, mainly misses. My current primary care doctor is a part of the Maine General system, so that means I get connected to those doctors first, which I've had a much more positive experience with doctors in that system, so that's one bonus. Also, because they're all in one system, I have the app on my phone that says I get all of the notifications for upcoming appointment, prescriptions. I can message a doctor right in the app about things. That makes it really easy, so I also really like that. If we're gonna sit and think about newly 18, you're going to see a primary care doctor for the first time, you're chronically ill, what do you expect? So we're gonna start with even picking a doctor because it can be a little difficult because it's about a doctor that takes your insurance, has good reviews, and seems to work really well. What I would suggest is if you have any experience with certain hospitals near you from when you were a kid, just try and take note of them, because my dermatologist that I was seeing for my skin cancer when I was a kid was a part of this hospital system, and every doctor I saw in this hospital system when I was a kid was very concerned about my health and just the things that kept cropping up with it, when I had doctors that just kind of scoffed at it. Didn't kind of scoffed at it, 100% scoffed at it. So it was one of the reasons I made sure I got a primary care doctor in this system. So if you have experience with it, then go with that. If not, just try and look online and see what other chronically ill people talk about certain doctors. I know there's places that show doctor reviews. One of the reasons I chose the primary care doctor I chose is because I looked up reviews and saw that this office had chronically ill patients that had a much more positive experience than others even within this particular hospital system. So make sure you look up reviews, and from there it really is just trial and error. Unfortunately, there isn't a real clear-cut way I can put it. You will have to call and you'll have to see if they even have patients open. If they do, they'll send you paperwork, your lovely new friend paperwork. When you're 18, you can't escape it. Get good, I guess. So you have to fill out the paperwork and you will go and see them. On this paperwork, if you have a lot you want to talk about, make sure you ask for a long appointment. I didn't do this with this doctor, but I put on it one of the reasons I was leaving my, at the time, current primary care doctor was the fact that I was not given enough time to talk about my issues. And so things weren't getting addressed because I just couldn't bring them up because we just didn't have time. And so one of my first appointments was a normal length appointment, and I kind of got like a weird, like I was being rushed vibe, which kind of put me off. But she wanted to see me again in I think a month. What is that noise? Someone's backing up. See, I was getting a real rushed vibe, but she wanted to see me back in a month. I was like, okay, fine, like whatever. Unbeknownst to me, a month later I got that, what the hell is happening? She scheduled said long appointment for me because after that first appointment and seeing my concerns, she realized, oh yeah, we need to sit and talk, not just for her to be able to do her job, but for me to feel like I'm actually getting somewhere. And so that next month I had, I think, an hour appointment. Most appointments are about 30 minutes for reference. I have 2 cats in my room. If you hear bells, they are kittens that have come to say hello this morning. Hello, Bo. Hello, Iris. They have been running amok this weekend. It's Monday, by the way. They have been sprinting all over the damn house. Well, not over all the house, just the upstairs of the house. Still haven't quite made it down the stairs. They like running around my room. They're here. And now Finn's coming. Hello, Finn. What was I talking about? Appointments. So yeah, I had a 30-minute appointment originally, then I had my hour appointment, and she started seeing me once a month for the first few months that I was seeing her, just to make sure that I was seeing primary care doctors, that the things that she could do in like her control, like blood work and things like that, were done pretty quick, easy, you know, don't worry about it kind of things. And anything that she could order, she did. Finn's here. Hi, baby. Yeah, you were the center of attention? Yeah. My goodness. Oh my goodness, my fluffy boy. Fluffy boy who has a groomer's appointment on Thursday. Yeah, the day everybody's gonna see this video, we're gonna be at the groomer's. Very Satan. Not gonna be so fluffy. It'll be good because it's gonna be summer soon. Don't wanna be so fluffy. Iris just left. So yeah, I was seeing her once a month to do what we could, and then once we kind of reached the limits of what she could do, animals aren't letting me film today. Finn, that's enough, honey. So once we reached the limit of what she could do for me, that's when we started to branch out to specialist. So now we've hit my first 1-year appointment with her, even though I've seen her like 10 times at this point. This is what it feels like. This appointment is mainly just going to recap from the last time I saw her, which I think was back in like November, October time, which honestly not a lot's happened since then. A few things. I had my EEG, I had my EKG. I am not seeing the rheumatologist until next month, and I was supposed to see cardiology, but they won't call me back. If you're going to see a primary care doctor for the first time, whether Finn, that's enough. I would actually recommend having a list of the things that you want to bring up with your primary care doctor, whether it's in your head or like a physical list on like your phone, or you hand wrote one or something, just to make sure that you covered everything you want to cover, especially if you're like me and you kind of start dissociating when you're at the doctor because you are just so terrified because of past doctors and stuff. Just having that list, whether it's a primary care, a specialist, whoever, to make sure that you covered everything, can be really helpful. It's actually one of the reasons I started making these vlogs, was so that I had a place to sit and kind of recap my visits to make sure that I would more easily remember them. Hello. There's a boy. There's a man. He's looking out the window. It's so green. It is. Look at the green coming in. It's very exciting. So, now that I've yapped long enough, and I have cold coffee at this point, we gotta start doing our things, getting ready for our appointment. My appointment isn't until like 12:30, and it's 9:30 now, so I thankfully don't have to go too fast to get ready. But the way I typically get myself ready for an appointment in the morning, well, first of all, I try and schedule my appointments in the afternoon. One, if I'm not doing well, it allows me to sleep in. I don't have to worry about, being so tired I can barely keep my eyes open, or being in so much pain I can't function at the appointments. It's just a normal appointment, and it's in the afternoon, so I have plenty of time to get up and get around. But when I do wake up early because I'm doing okay, like today, it's typically just a chill morning. I try not to do anything super crazy. I try and stick to my normal routine as much as possible. I did a whole morning routine video if you really want to know the more ins and outs of it. But like, I've got my workout outfit on, I've had breakfast, I'm having my coffee. Once we're done here, I'm gonna journal, do a workout, and get dressed for the actual appointment. Outside of my normal routine, I will get my health binder, and I will again review everything from my last physical to kind of refresh myself and get an idea of what my doctor will bring up and what I want to make sure I bring up, if I have any questions, things like that. And from there, it's just kind of waiting. Because I film the days that I go to the doctors, that's usually the only work that I do those days. I'm not that worried about it. Well, I'm not too worried about anything else when it comes to filming and things, or work or whatever. What do you have? That is the cat's lammy. Look at the cat's lammy. Look, one of the lamb chop toys that has catnip in it. Finn has it. This is not your lammy. It is not. I think this is a sign that Finn wants me to stop yapping at the camera. So I'm gonna go do my normal morning routine. I will pick back up when I am sat recapping and getting dressed and everything for the appointment. It is now 11, and I am now dressed. I have my strawberry shortcake shirt on and some sweatpants. I'm gonna be honest, I've just been sat on my bed for like the last 2 hours. I did journal, but I realized that with my workout and wanting to take a full hair wash shower afterward, I wouldn't have enough time to get dressed and film. So we're gonna do the workout when we get back, which is okay because it's like a little reward. It's also okay because I am very, very tired because I am on my period. I am exhausted, so the workout was already going to take extra time to do. Now I just have more time to do it, and I can really relish in my shower. It also means I'm not putting makeup on because I just don't want to. The only thing I'm going to change about my appearance, outside of having gotten dressed, is I'm going to put my hair up in a ponytail instead of a claw clip, because it's just going to be easier getting in and out of the car if I have it up in a ponytail instead of a claw clip. That way I don't have to like take my hair down and then redo it when I stop to go inside and stuff. Gotta brush the front. But I thought before I fully left for the appointment, I could kind of show off my binder a little bit more. Alright, looks good. So this is my medical binder. I bring it with me to every appointment. For physicals, I don't usually bring it in with me. I usually just keep it in the car so I can keep my notes together and stuff. So the front of this one came with some sticky note type things that are glued to the front. I don't really use them, but this at the very front is the folder I used to use when I was just using a folder. But now I use it to keep smaller things. Like this is my COVID card. I have the bill statement. I have my eyeglasses prescription, small things like that. Then I have a sticker sheet that came with it. Next we get into the actual tabs. So this first one is for the primary care stuff. I like to keep this at the front mainly so I can do this and I can see what my last things in here were. So I have the paper copy of my EEG exam and my last doctor visit. Which one was that? November 18th. That's what it was. So anything after November 18th, I want to make sure gets brought up. So the next section is going to be for my rheumatology, but I haven't gone and seen them, so that one is just kind of blank right now. No, that's going to be for cardiology. I have a rheumatology one. Is everything from my GI doctor. Now, I have not seen my GI doctor in person for over a year. Yes, it's been over a year. I don't need to bring anything up with that for this appointment. I have my rheumatology papers. I haven't seen them yet. I'm seeing them next month, so that can just be a quick little update. And then the back is kind of just like smaller, random. Like I went to see a specialist just to check something, but they didn't see anything, so they said I should see a different specialist kind of thing, which I haven't had any of those. The only things that I really need to bring up in this appointment is the EEG and the EKG. I can't remember which one was which, but one is a Holter monitor, the Holter monitor and the EEG. Those are the two things. My phone's already gonna die. Let's go make sure I charge that. Talking about what they saw on the Holter monitor, which I do believe they said that they saw signs of tachycardia, which is why I'm going to see the cardiologist. And then the EEG came back normal for that stuff. So yeah, I really think this is going to be a pretty simple appointment, just a check-in. If she has anything she needs to do on her end for checks, she'll do that. Yeah, I'm not too worried about this appointment, which is nice for once. But I do still have this level of anxiety. I've had it ever since everything happened with my pediatrician. Although my doctor has never once made me feel like my symptoms are a problem or I'm asking for too much or anything like that. I still get those feelings when it comes to doctors, that they're just gonna dismiss me, that I'm overreacting to things, which is why I usually take appointment days as either strictly filming for all of you or entirely off, even like for eye doctors and the dentist, because they are just a lot on me mentally. I also don't have any new concerns that I want to bring up. I feel pretty good with everything that has been happening since November. My meds have been going well. I wish doctors would call me back, but that's not really something she can help me with. And yeah, I think things are gonna go pretty well for them. So yeah, now is the part of the getting ready process where I typically set up my room for when I get back and for leaving. Can you see Finn? This is Finn. He's asleep in his blankie. It's nap time. So at this point, yeah, like I said, I usually get my room ready and myself ready to leave. So in terms of the room, I typically take after appointments as a do nothing time. I know I said that I was gonna do a workout, but with my period happening right now, just that level of blood loss can be a lot to do workouts. So I have an outfit ready to go for when I get back if I'm feeling good. If not, I'm just gonna do some stretches and maybe take a shower if I'm up for it. Showering might happen tomorrow, which is okay. What I will set up is my crochet and my reading. My two favorite hobbies of the moment. I like to just make sure that I take time off my phone, off social media, because it can just cause a lot of stress. So I like to kind of give myself true no phone decompress time. Right now, I'm in the middle of annotating my copies of all of the Hunger Games series. I just finished the first Hunger Games book, and I'm now on Catching Fire. And there are a lot of things throughout the books, now reading the two newest books, that are like, huh, that's fun to learn about now, to kind of think about the world a little bit more with new context with it. So there's that. So I will be doing that. I also have some crochet projects that I've started. I might not do those because my hands kind of hurt. I'll have everything set up. I actually don't really need to set too much up because my crochet and my reading are both in my little cart because I do them so often. I just need to bring the yarn over because it's over here, because I want to be able to put my medical binder away, put my, purse, my rain jacket, because it's raining out, I'm gonna need to wear that. Put all that away, maybe sit down with a snack and a cup of tea that I can prep a little bit ahead of time. Not making the tea, but like having it picked out and stuff. So I can just sit and I can read and most likely wrap up this video. Yeah, let's do that. I already have my mug over there that I had my coffee in, so I'll rinse that out and pick out a tea. I'm thinking chamomile or chai, because I have both. I think I'm gonna go chai, just because I think I'd like that more. Okay, come on. You're coming with me. I'm also gonna have some popcorn ready to go. Just gonna set it on top of the microwave. Hi, baby. You grab the mug. Putting it over here will be better. You can't really see me because it's too dark, but I'm just putting the tea bag in the mug. I also cleaned a spot so I can put my mug right next to me. Set my binder on the chair. My water's full, so that's good. Take a sip of it now. So I'll have the tea, I have the yarn, I have my books here, along with the pen and highlighters. My hooks are down there. I think I am fairly good to go. The last thing I'm just gonna throw over there is the sweatshirt that I was wearing, just because I feel like I'm gonna be cold when I get home. Also gonna open up the window so I can have a little more light. Look at my chin. It's a pimple that popped last night. So now I'm just, oh no, I don't want that one. I want this one. I have a mask. Yes, I picked a pink one to go with my outfit. My purse and a rain jacket. Those are just over here. I just grab them before I leave. I am gonna need a snack. I'll probably just grab a protein bar and eat it in the car. All right, I think that's it. I will see you at the appointment itself. I feel distressed now. I'm sad. I don't know how long I have. She can be a little fast, but I'm here. Every bit of anxiety running through me, but I'm here. Yeah. Hi, I'm back home. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. And I don't know if I'm gonna crochet or read or just eat my popcorn. But I'm in pain and I'm tired and my period has hit me like a truck. So, but that's kind of what I planned for because it's almost 2, which means it's the end of my work time based on when I started filming. So I have the rest of the day to do literally nothing. And that's how I planned it. That's how I plan most of my doctor visit days. Is the big thing I do is the appointment itself. And then I take whatever rest I need, which for me is a snack and a nap. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. On screen now is my social media handles if you'd like to see more day-to-day things that I get up to. And with that, I will see you next week for a brand new video. Goodbye. My tea's ready. You want to say goodbye? Finn's gonna give me cuddles.